Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Posterman Podcast. I am Elijah. With me here, as always, is the three other people here.
I'm Ken, hello.
I'm Tyler.
Yep, and Lewis, I don't think he's here. Lewis is here in spirit, and he will pop in and out, but he has to pop in when there's Wi-Fi. So for right now, I don't know if Lewis is here, but he's here on the Discord in spirit. So for Creature Feature Month, we did our second one, which is Jeepers Creepers.
Jeepers Creepers.
Full disclosure, guys, I didn't
Jeepers?
get a chance to watch it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You didn't miss much. Now that Lewis is gone.
Oh. It's a 6.2 on IMDB, so.
Who gave it a 6.2?
That doesn't. That's the average. That's the average. It doesn't. Which doesn't speak super well for it.
All right. I will do. Ken, do you have the plot synopsis?
I have the plot synopsis. Yes.
Right,
As Lewis would say, Ken, IMDB it.
Well, yeah, how else would I know it has a 6.2 on the IMDb if I didn't have the IMDb page right in front of me?
Yeah, Elijah.
That's very true. I didn't think about that.
The plot synopsis reads thusly. A brother and sister driving home through isolated countryside for spring break encounter a flesh-eating creature which is in the midst of its ritualistic eating spree.
They could have used the word harvest, and that would have been a way better choice of words. Annual harvesting.
It's annual harvest, or it's ritual it's harvest time. Yes, you are correct. Rather than ritual. Well, is there ritual involved in the eating spree? Like, does it have to?
I think he has to eat them, and then he gets their body parts. That's at least my understanding of them. He eats the person's body part he wants, and then he sews them together like human centipede. Spoiler alert.
Starring Gina Phillips as Trish, Justin Long as Derry, Jonathan Breck as the Creeper, and I don't know if any of the rest of these people are important.
Not really. The next most important one is probably Giselle Gray Hartman character.
Okay.
Which was Patricia Belcher. But the only really important characters that we follow most of this movie are Trish, Derry, and the Creeper, a.k.a. Dumbass, and the guy that eats them.
Sweet.
Jeepers Creepers.
Lewis is back.
Hello.
Hi, Lewis.
Daddy's back.
Just started.
Oh, Lewis, you sound great.
Yeah, you sound much better.
Thank you. I'm at the church. I'm just listening through the actual phone now.
Oh, we can hear. He's in the confession booth.
So,
He's podcasting from the confession booth.
I must confess, I am the one that is blessed.
But the movie starts with a lovely field. Oh, and cars driving. Why is this scene so long? It's such a long scene with them just driving on a road.
Oh my god.
I hated it.
It was like 10 minutes or something of just that scene?
It was just 10 minutes of Justin Long and Gina just driving on a road and talking nonsense.
It seems like they were flirting with each other. I think you were trying to establish...
It was weird. I didn't know they were brother and sister until I looked it up.
Oh, you didn't know that when he said our parents?
I missed that part probably because I was looking at the field.
We were so bored.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the conversation goes with them. They're talking about, Justin Long is bringing dirty laundry back to his parents' house, because, it gives mom something to do. And she's like, oh, sure he does. And he's like, yeah, we left the nest. So I don't know if they're the same age or if they're twins. That's the thing. I don't know what they...
I think he was the younger brother.
Yeah, I'm going with that because he was awful stupid.
They're both awful stupid.
This entire movie could be called "This Could Have Been Prevented."
Yeah. They could have just kept driving.
Yes, they should have just kept driving. Instead,
Also,
just being like, "Hey, you know what? The two of us should go investigate, like Scooby Doo."
I think that we all know that from watching this movie. We must learn to never take vehicles like that, like some old Oldsmobile. You know what I mean?
Yes, the 1950s Oldsmobile.
But hey, it's that kid from Average Joe's.
Oh, Justin Long.
If you
Hasn't
can
aged
dodge
one
a
bit.
wrench, you can dodge a ball.
And then they're counting. Then they're saying the license plate names. They're getting those, and "Sexy Forever." And I have written down these are the jokes, people.
Well, the thing is,
I want them to die right now.
What was the one that she was reading? Because she said that doesn't count. Sexy Forever didn't count. So
I don't remember, but that was the joke. I just went, "These are the jokes, people. I want them to die." That's what I have written.
I wanted to die.
Yes. Then the creeper's car comes up, and that car's horn is so annoying, is what I have written. Why is this movie dragging, and I'm only 10 minutes in?
Yo, you guys are ripping this one a new one.
It was the opening sequence is so long. It felt like 30 minutes. It was so painful because for some reason Justin Long lost all charisma that he ever has in the future. Like I guess this movie was his teaching lesson on how to act because he can act. And the lady and Gina Phillips is so flat. I was like, these two have zero chemistry, and I hate it.
Well, they're not supposed to have any chemistry. They're brother and sister.
Yeah. Thank you.
I know, but I
Thank
meant
you.
like they
You get
can't
the
act
premise
back
of
it.
it.
Like they don't have the.
They don't act like siblings. They don't act
They
like
don't have a good
lovers.
rapport. No, like I don't buy them even as brother and sister. Like I buy them as bad actors in a bad movie.
Maybe they hate each other so much, and that they do that.
Maybe. It just I don't know. The acting throughout the movie is just let me see. Don't stare at him. Drive the car faster. I was like, why are you not driving the car faster? He is driving a giant truck. You are driving a hot rod. Drive faster.
Did you know that there's a third Jeepers Creepers?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Gina Phillips comes back.
She does. Yeah, that's why I was like,
Trish.
I was like, she's First Banana. Who do I know this lady? Not really. No.
Oh, that drove me nuts. I was like, I swear I've seen her. And then I looked at everything that she did, and I was like, I have not seen her, but she looks like everybody else, I guess.
Generic white
That
chick.
girl.
Yeah, I think she just has one of those faces. Yeah, because she's not been she's been in stuff, but not a lot of stuff. She's primarily a TV actress.
Yeah. It was. I was like, I said to Tyler, Tyler, who is that girl?
And I think my response was, I don't know why you're asking me things.
Yeah, it was.
Jeepers Creepers.
they
Lewis
drive
left.
into the field. I know.
He's been taken.
He's going to be peeping and creeping in and out. That's what he told us.
Jeeping and creeping.
Jeeping and creeping. So we'll have to ask every time he comes in if he's a jeeping or a creeping. Because that just seems like the thing to do. Since I didn't watch this movie and I feel like I want to contribute, I'm gonna interject random bits of IMDb trivia. So my first interjection is Victor Salva wrote the main characters as brother and sister in order to eliminate any sexual tension and keep them focused on escaping the creeper.
Well, they should have focused on that really early on.
Oh, so he's the writer and director. Yikes.
Yep. That's there we go. That's why it's so bad.
That's the first sign of a bad idea. Then they drive into a field, and I'm like, well, they're dead because their car died. But
and then they're not.
Yeah, then they drove away. then the creeper drove away, which I was like, you have a all right. And then Derry is like, what? They see the creeper throw a body into a hole, and then Derry has a grand idea to go back and investigate. I respond, no, Derry, you go get help and not die.
Yeah, if you think you see something suspicious, you call it in and let the professionals go investigate. You don't go investigate yourself. That's silly.
Yep, but they decide to go and investigate themselves. Just Derry and Trish. The Scooby Gang themselves.
The other thing that really annoyed me is that chick could not drive a stick shift at all.
Oh God, it's her car, isn't it?
It was her car. And then they were complaining how bad the gearbox was. They couldn't get it into gear. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe because it's
maybe you
every
should
time.
Push in the clutch.
Oh, Ken, you would have been so angry.
Oh, you would have.
I probably would have been, yeah.
I was angry, and I don't know how to drive a stick. I was like, this is a person that doesn't know how to drive stick, driving a stick.
Oh. I just wanted someone to punch her and be like, get out! You lost driving privileges.
Don't worry, guys. I'm going to just go inside this pipe.
This pipe.
Now, mind you, the pipe, it goes the whole way down. So then Derry's answer is to be like, okay, Trish, hold my feet while I look down in the pipe. It adds zero more visibility, but yet he gets in the pipe. And then I go, then Trish calls out the idiocy, making this movie very meta. Because Trish calls out the idiocy of this entire plan. I was like, huh, Trish is being awful meta.
Bleh.
And then rats come.
Oh, the rats. Oh, jeepers creepers.
Like, yeah. And then Derry falls down, credits, dies.
I really thought he was dead. I'm like, oh, this is how we get our first death. And then he got up.
Then he got up, and then it's a half hour in this movie.
This is where we got, Ken. We drove a car, we crashed the car, we went back to the hole, and we fell down. And that was 30 minutes.
And then Justin Long gets up and sees all these dead bodies that look like Twilight rejects.
It did look like a Twilight reject.
They're all sparkly.
I was too dumbfounded by how dumb everything was. To even have the comment of, "Oh look, it's reject Robert Battenbat."
Yeah, because they're all sparkly, and because the creepers sucked out everything he needs to out of the people, and then sews them together in art form. So then it looks like
back in town.
Lewis, were you jeeping or creeping?
Both.
Okay.
I was waiting for Liz. So.
But now
I didn't want to talk in the hallway at church.
So he sewed all these people together like human centipede along the wall, and then he sees there's the story they tell in the beginning, which is part of the 10-minute long diatribe about the missing high school
homecoming king and queen, right?
Yeah, homecoming king and queen, and then he sees them tied together, sewed together, and the class ring or something on his finger, and that's what makes Justin Long dumbfounded and want to get out.
Well, that's the thing, though. Wouldn't you just drive off? I feel like getting the police was so much better. Why would you have to go investigate? Did you see that body? That could be a body. Yeah, you know what? You're literally becoming a victim. You could have just gone to you could have literally just gone to that sheriff and been like, "Yo, sheriff, this is what we saw. All right, email me or page me on my beeper, and then I'll be going." And I would have just gotten that and I would have just driven off. But who's to say that I mean, if that thing goes for 23 days, does that mean that like its like span is just that area, or do you think it could go across the country?
I think its span is that country area.
That part of the
Because
state?
yeah, I think it's that part of the state area because I don't think. Now this is going back to high school memory of the second one, which was the only one I had seen up to this point,
They were.
and
It
I
was.
believe it takes place in the same general area.
It does. It's in that same area, and
Yeah,
that one
but
it's
it's a
getting
bus
the high
full of
school
kids.
story. Essentially, like if you didn't see Justin Long in the beginning on that one, spoiler alert. So I'm just gonna stop.
You better. Jeepers Creepers, Lewis.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
cheaper.
That's it. You know what? You guys might shit on this movie, but this is actually a pretty good movie. It scared a lot of people back in the day. If
On that
you were-
subject,
All right.
at the time of its release, this was the highest grossing film ever to be released during the Labor Day weekend. The record would subsequently be broken by its own sequel, Jeepers Creepers 2.
Huh.
This is in
Told
the
you.
90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the 90s is full of poor
2001.
judgment.
2001.
Yeah, 2001.
Jeepers Creepers came out in 2001. Jeepers Creepers 2 came out in 2003. Jeepers Creepers 3 came out in 2017.
Hello.
Yeah.
Wait, you want to go in that room?
Um,
Okay. No, see. Sorry about that, guys.
you're getting moved.
He's getting lashes now, it sounds like.
But yeah, so they could have went back to that diner, I agree, and just called the cops, like they do in the next scene.
I agree. They should have gone back to that diner and called the cops. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
they should have just gone to that one. And the girl just doesn't pay any attention at all for most of this movie. She just seems kind of out there.
What I loved about it is they're at the diner and like they both seeing the same exact things, and he's telling her about it, and then all of a sudden now he's a crazy person.
Well, the thing is, though, she didn't see the bodies.
But they saw the body get dumped down the thing. Like
No. They
You-
saw what looked like a body in.
Yeah, but then
And
he comes back and confirms it's a body.
yeah,
Yeah, but she
So you
didn't see it, so she
believe her?
wouldn't be as shocked. Maybe she just thinks that he's crazy because he bumped his head.
Well,
I mean,
Yeah, I
mean, you gotta
understand. I
realize-
understand her not being shocked, but her not like believing her brother.
well, I mean, he is a liar. I mean,
Yeah,
he
but
does
I
have
think
his
at
mom
that
do his
point,
laundry.
When he comes up all pale, when he comes up all pale and's like, "Let's get going," I think I would
don't
start to
think-
believe him.
I mean, I thought she went to med school, and she looked like she was like, "Oh, this dude has a concussion. I'm definitely driving."
Oh, maybe.
I mean, you gotta look at it from like in that perspective. Imagine like, you're with your brother, or you know what I mean, and your brother falls like however many feet down and like hits their head. They could be seeing stuff. I'm not, you know what I mean. I'm not saying that I wouldn't be scared, but like, you would have to, with a grain of salt, you have to be like, oh yeah, this dude definitely has a concussion. Like I'm surprised he wasn't knocked out. You know what I mean?
I'm surprised he wasn't killed because he
Yeah.
landed like on his back.
Yeah. So I could see why she's like, oh yeah, this dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, a diner and it has air conditioning.
like all the great diners.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've always
It
wanted
says
to
that
stop
right
at one
on
of
their
those
front.
diners.
I don't.
I don't.
Well,
I'd rather
no,
have
not,
trustworthy.
The
Well, not-
seedy
well,
roadside
not-
diner
yeah, just you know what I
that
mean.
sits
Just
out in the middle of nowhere.
yeah, where only
Hey.
the local and the yokels go.
Hey Elijah, we went to one of those when we on my wedding day. It's called that restaurant that we got lunch at.
Oh yeah,
Denny's?
we did. No, the place we had.
On your actual like wedding day.
On my actual wedding day, yeah.
Oh, dude, congrats on that. That's so fun. Like shout outs. I want to give a little shout out. If you live out here in the Pennsylvania area, go to the Hamilton, get yourself a hotchie dog, and a coffee. And let me tell you, it's the best diner coffee I've ever had in my life.
I don't like coffee.
Yeah, I'm not a big
Hands
fan
down.
either.
Hands down, best coffee I've ever had in my life.
I love coffee.
If you like diner food, you can go there and get eggs and toast for $2.75 and a coffee for $1.
I was with
$25.
you on the Hachi dog. Minus
And
the
so,
onion.
well, the Hachi dogs are I think the Hachi dogs are $2.75. But either way, for under $5, you can have a full breakfast.
Very true.
A Hachi dog for breakfast?
That's danger.
Nah, that's living life. If I get gout, know that I lived my life to the fullest.
Fucking gout. This is why Lewis doesn't come to podcasts. He eats Hachi dogs for breakfast and then he can't make it because he's shitting his brains out.
It's not organ meat.
Hot dogs?
It's not like shellfish and organ meat. Yeah.
Oh, hot dogs is everything, man. Like, that's all the leftovers.
I know hot dogs everything.
Yeah, it's.
I guarantee
But
you're
it's not
eating organ meat.
Yeah, but I meant like it's not decadent food. That's how you get the gout.
What is decadent food?
Like it's so general like shellfish and like organ meat, like it's liver, it's kidneys, it's like
Exactly. What's in hot dogs?
well, it could be legs, hooves, beaks, anything. I don't know, but I don't
Look,
think it's made up.
let me tell you something. Let me
decadent
tell you something,
food,
boys.
'cause that's
Boys, let me tell you something before we get off topic about Jeepers Creepers, right? I don't care how it's made. Hot dogs are delicious. Okay.
But
Mm.
so
Yo, is someone typing in? Is someone accessing the mainframe?
yes, Tyler's ferociously typing. I don't know what he's ferociously typing.
Pork
but
and
he
beef
was
are the
ferociously
traditional
typing.
meats used in hot dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
you
not
can
gonna
also get-
actual tell me.
You can also get
Hang on.
chicken hot dogs.
And turkey hot dogs. Tyler's
And
had a
turkey
bunch of
hot
turkey
dogs.
hot dogs without ever realizing it. What-
You need
what-
hot dogs
bless you.
with cheese in them. Thank you.
So now the psychic lady calls and knows an awful lot. So I have written down, how does this phone lady know so much? Ooh, and the breakfast special is only $2.50.
All I'm saying is about that. Don't you think that would you like when you guys went to that diner, you know, that hole in the wall mom and the pop diner? Did people look at you like that you were from out of town, or did they just not give a shit?
We got the food to go.
I think that really only happens in the movies, Lewis.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was a dinerish place in Newville, so it wasn't exactly like we were at a
Oh!
place.
I know which one you went to.
I don't remember the name of it.
I've been there.
It's Mancino's.
Yeah.
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 It used to be the Crossroads Restaurant, but it's not the Crossroads Restaurant anymore.
Correct.
Meet me at the crossroads.
It's not a bad place.
Oh my goodness. This movie was shot in Central Florida around Ocala. The highway there, the highway where much of the film was shot didn't appear deserted. So Victor Salva got local homeowners to uproot their mailboxes temporarily. This is interesting to me because my aunt and uncle recently relocated to Ocala, Florida.
Jeepers Creepers, Ken.
Jeepers Creepers!
Ken, be careful. You better send them this. You better tell them that if they hear that song, they better run like heck.
So the phone lady tells them all this information really quick and really loud about, and not really well. Like, she's not very coherent about anything. She's like, the cats,
Nobody is.
the cats,
Neither is-
the song, and then just plays the song, and then like expects him to understand. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah. Well, don't you think this is the same thing with like when Justin Long and her like get to the diner? Don't you think they should have just been like, hey, listen, someone tried to run us off the road. I think we found dead bodies. We need police.
yeah, that's what they did, and they got the police. They showed up, and then
Yeah, but I mean,
then
like,
the
you saw,
creeper
but you see how
decapitated
crazy they were. Well, we're going a little too far ahead. We got to go a little bit behind. You know what I mean? Like,
It's not that far behind.
What got me is
well,
that when they
no,
came into the diner and told him about it, and everyone was just like, Psh,
yeah.
They crazy.
And then, yeah, and then the waitress is like, "Oh no, there was somebody sniffing your panties in the car." That's what happened.
I know.
That's
This is a part of that. I was like, oh, what the fuck? How did we get to this
Like-
part? How did this happen?
Well, because he's a creeper.
Okay, that makes sense.
He's
He's jeeping and a creeping.
because he's a creeper. Yeah, he's doing his name. If you didn't find that, it's not supposed to be scary. It's supposed to be creepy because it's like that's what a creepy person would do. You know what I mean?
And then the cops get there, and Justin Long is easily irritated that they're not understanding him, and he grabs the cop. And I said, "Ooh, cops don't like that when you grab them."
Do you think
That
I'm
cop
lying?
looked mad.
He did well because he told him he was like, "Yo, I saw the homecoming queen and king," and that was like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
No, was it 20 or 8 years ago?
it was a while ago. I forgot how. I think you were right with 20.
It was a certain time period ago.
It was
But that's what-
significant
but the thing
amount
is,
for him to be like, their bodies are dust, so they could not.
Well,
have
all
been
I'm
part of
saying
the
is okay,
vampire.
right, okay, all right. But just so the viewers know that it was a black guy
We
and a
don't have
white girl,
viewers, we have
and if it was
listeners.
20 years, and if it or the listeners, doesn't matter. If you're listening, I guess it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? There was a black guy and a white. It was a black guy and a white girl, and it's just like if it was 20 years ago, that town was pretty diverse. You know what I'm saying? Like
They're
they
both
must
white.
have been pretty. Huh? No,
The homecoming people, the homecoming group.
the homecoming king was black.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is that town was pretty diverse. But also, did they come from that town? So were they that far from their home, or like, you know what
I
I'm
think they
saying?
were
Like that's
far
where.
from their home. Bye-bye, cops. Well, at least someone finally died in this movie 45 minutes in.
Wrong. That other guy died when they found him, when Justin Long found him.
No, he just dies. I meant was killed.
Gets
The
murdered.
creeper straight up murders these cops.
Oh yeah.
I meant not like the guy in the basement tries to say something and then dies.
Gotcha.
Which I thought that would be more important, and it never comes back.
It's just to give you a little scare at first. It's to let you know this guy's crazy. It's like, why? How's this guy alive? He's missing a spleen or something.
Yeah, but he whispers something to Justin Long, and I was like, oh, that's gonna come back, and it never does.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. You would think he'd say something like Kalima or something.
Like,
If he was like,
where'd you get those keepers or something?
Ah, my tummy! He ate it!
or maybe he
Kill
was like,
me.
or maybe he. What happens if he said? What happens if he said, "The treasure's buried"? Like he trolled him.
I sparkle in the daylight. Tell nobody.
All right.
Let's
So the
get
cops
back
are
in the
dead.
car. Because then they check on the cops. They're like, let's get back in the car, because cars are safe, because we didn't just see him open one like a can of tuna.
Very true. But I mean, would
Let's
you
go
have
bowling.
gotten out of the would you guys have gotten out of the car?
I'd have never gotten out of the
I
car.
wouldn't
Nope, never would have gotten out of the car.
I'd been
Oh,
like,
yeah,
yep,
I
that
literally-
definitely was a head that just bounced off the front of my windshield, down the hood, and onto the road. Time to go away.
Mm-hmm. I also assume that the reason they didn't have more, like the reason, well, wasn't there like a fire going on? Wasn't like a fire going back at the barn? And so is that why they didn't have other cops?
They
follow?
the creeper burned down his old barn. We forgot to mention that. Because
Yeah.
he figured out he was found out, so he burns down his old hideout.
Which was the church.
Yeah, which was the church. And now he's at a industrial complex, you find out at the end of the movie.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I don't have that note, so I just had to remember that. But yeah, you find out that the creeper, once he gets a smell for you, that's for something he likes, he doesn't stop hunting you.
And so the theory is that because he's been doing it for 23 years, he's eaten so many hearts that he can't die.
Yeah. Oh, is he going to make out with that head? Yep, he is. And what does that billboard say behind him? Tastes so damn good, billboard.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that. It was
Because he's eating he's eating the cop's tongue. So I'm like, oh. And then I'm like, oh, the billboard's ironic, hilarious billboard. Tastes so damn good. Love it.
yeah. That's all. See, that's what you did there, Elijah. It's called deep diving into the movie. Nice.
Yep. That's what we do here at the Posterman. We dive deep into every scene, or we make jokes, whichever one I feel like doing.
What was I supposed to be doing?
Diving deep into the scene.
Oh, okay.
So he eats the tongue of the cop's head.
Cop. And then they get back in the car and they drive away, and then they find a house
With
in
the
the middle of nowhere
cat.
with the crazy cat lady.
It's not me.
You're gonna turn into the crazy cat
Nope.
lady.
I'm not.
You know.
Tyler, you're already crazy, and you have cats.
You
Tyler,
leave my babies alone.
Tyler, you're not gonna get a bunch of cats. What you're gonna do is you're gonna become man cat.
Like Mayor West.
Kind of, yeah.
And the Fairly Odd Parents, Catman.
No, not cat man. He's gonna be half man, half cat. Not half cat, half man.
Oh God, I'm gonna look like one of the cats from the new Cats movie.
He's gonna look
Elijah,
like
for the love of God, shoot me.
You will become a man cat, and you will protect Carlum.
Someone put me down.
He'll protect Carlin.
Oh God, so just murder me, kill me.
You look like James Corden from
You're the
Cats
hero that the
movie.
city needs but doesn't
That's
deserve.
rude.
I now thoroughly enjoy the imagery of you being just James Corden or Rebel Wilson. There you are. I found you.
That is not. That's very rude.
What are you talking about, dude? That's like you're literally the hero that the city needs but doesn't deserve.
Yeah. You're Catman.
No, you're man cat.
You're Man Cat. Man Cat and Iron Man will help we'll team up together.
Well, I'll see you guys later.
Tyler's back now. Tyler, were you jeeping and creeping?
I was looking for a shotgun to blow my brains out like Kurt Cobain.
He was jeeping, not creeping.
Oh, you were jeeping,
yeah.
not creeping. Okay.
When Victor Salva arrived in Florida, he discovered that $1 million worth of his financing had fallen through, and he was forced to cut some 20 pages of the script from the end of the film. There would have been a fiery climax where Derry manages to get behind the wheel of the creeper's truck and drives it into an oncoming train in a suicidal attempt to destroy the creature.
You know what this movie didn't need? Another 45 minutes. So I'm glad it got cut.
It did.
I'm
It
not-
did need another
I'm not.
20 minutes. I will agree there.
No, it needed that to, you know what I mean? Because it made Justin Long look like such a chump. But, you know, imagine what this world could have been like.
Yeah.
How much it would have changed.
So we've met the crazy cat lady,
Don't
this
get the
doesn't-
cops involved.
and this scene does not last long. Because then there's a scarecrow, and the line of the movie is, "That's not my
It's
scarecrow."
not my scarecrow. but also like
And then-
y-
Yes.
no, I was just gonna say like why would she think that the person who's up as a scarecrow is with them? You know what I mean?
Why
Like
did you bring this evil?
well, the thing is though, it's like right. She said, the fortune teller said that it feeds on people that like who aren't scared of it, right? Or who are scared of it, right?
Yes.
So then if that lady wasn't scared of it and she was just there to defend her property, shouldn't he have just left her alive?
I mean, do you want me to shoot you with a shotgun and then you not do anything about it?
All I'm saying is you're showing me that you're not scared. You're showing me you're standing your ground. I would be like, yo, sorry.
And you're not going to be mad
that
if someone just shot you?
Scared.
I mean,
I think that she ends up scared because it didn't work.
Gotcha.
Because he's an immortal creature that really can't die. Because then the creature like plummets into her house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, we're missing all the action by standing outside the house.
And watching shotgun blasts.
Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I have a question. If the creature is so fast, because it's apparently like that quick that it can like vanish into thin air, why didn't it grab him and then kill the cat lady on the way out?
Because he's creeping, dog. He's being a creeper. You can't be jeeping without the creeping. You know what I'm saying? He's jumping around, jeeping everywhere. He's like, yo.
Doesn't answer the question.
It does. He's hunting. He knows
because
it's easy prey.
It was in the script.
Thank you. All right. I like where this girl's head's at. She gets back in the car, hits the creeper with the car, and then continues to run it over about 5 to 8 times, I think.
That was a lot.
It was a bunch of times.
Yeah.
She backs over. She drives over it. I'm like, this is smart. I approve.
Well, before that, I mean, he was doing like okay, let's get a little bit more descriptive. He was jumping over the vehicle the first couple times because he was super acrobatic and super agile, and then I don't know how she tricks him because does she act like the gears were jammed or
yeah, she acted like the gears were jammed because then the creeper starts flying at the car. And then she hits it with the car.
And then she proceeds to triple tap, quadruple tap.
Yeah.
So that's boys and girls. That's why you don't stop. You just keep, you know what I mean? You keep running it over till you know it's mashed potatoes.
Yeah, because it wasn't mashed potatoes.
No, it was not.
It was lumpy potatoes.
And now we're nearing the climax of this movie, the climactic fight sequence, the climactic endings at the police station.
Yay.
My response question is, who is this bitch? She knows an awful lot about the creature, and she sees dead people.
She was the original M. Night Shyamalan girl.
Yep. I don't think so. I think Sixth Sense was before this.
No. That's something I was being sarcastic. Like, it's not whatever that kid's name is.
Haley Joel Osment.
Yeah, there we go. Well, that grown ass man.
Yeah, this came out 2 years after that. But now we have the incompetent cops.
Oh my god.
The creeper breaks into the jail, and we have the cops from Stormtrooper Academy.
Miss every shot.
There's a cop who walks in front of all the other cops to check the stairs and has a light and shines it down. And then you see him get a hole through him pretty much. And his heart gets pulled out and he falls down. Now there are about 30 other cops around him. And none of them shoot the creeper. The creeper is right there, standing in front of them, and not a one of them shoots him.
These cops were like the Reno 911 rejects.
I think what you're thinking is it's like no, because he's eating all these body parts. You know what I'm saying? He's essentially bulletproof.
Yeah, but they didn't shoot him. We did get to test the theory that he was bulletproof because no one shot him. No,
because he does get shot. He gets shot.
He gets shot down the stairs. But I meant at this scene, he's at the. I'm talking about.
I got you. They all miss. I know they're garbage at their job. That's why they work at a small town.
Until they're like, until the creeper jumps up and then they decide to shoot.
And they just shoot at the stair, the empty space between the stairs. Like, who are you shooting? What are you shooting? The ceiling?
Very true. Also, now I'm thinking it's not in a very small town. It has to be in a decent town where, like, you have that many police officers, because that was a lot of police. I would say that's like Lancaster City, maybe even Harrisburg size. You know what I mean? Like,
it could have been a like a state patrol area. Like it could be like one of those, like you see on the highway.
Are the state patrol areas pretty much packed? Like, do they have that many police?
They're pretty big on, like, the one I passed on the turnpike is pretty big.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because you know how it is. Some, like, you would think that in a small town, they would have, you know, a small police force.
Here's the question: if the creeper ate the psychic's brain, does that mean that the creeper then becomes psychic?
It doesn't get the person's powers. It just gets their physical attributes.
But if the I don't know. We don't know the true powers of the creeper. Maybe the creeper can get the powers to be psychic if he ate the psychic.
But she didn't fear him.
I don't know. There was the one sequence where she seemed pretty afraid, but then I think the creeper needed that person to tell the tale.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's an ecosystem. He keeps her alive because then she can call the people and give them more fear, which then he can eat the people who are extremely terrified of him. You know what I mean? Like,
Creepers.
He's letting people's their body organs marinate in fear. You know what I'm saying?
Sweet fear juices.
He's playing up some organs.
He's trying to get the lamb sauce. Okay.
We're gonna add a little bit of spice and BAM!
Exactly.
You got to get your spice weasel.
Spice weasel?
He's trying to top off the food,
Tyler.
all the organs with a little creme fraiche.
What the fuck is a spice weasel?
Tyler, watch Futurama.
I did watch Snoo Snoo.
Well, you have to watch some more episodes before you learn about the magic of the spice weasel.
Damn it!
I sent a photo. I attached a GIF of the spice weasel in the thing.
What'd you guys think? Actually, no.
We haven't reached the end of the movie yet.
No, I meant Futurama.
Oh,
what did Tyler think of it?
I love Futurama.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
I'm glad. That's a good episode to like.
Now the creeper has found who he wants and has entered Justin Long's personal bubble.
That is not social distancing.
Nope, he was not social distanced. And then my only response is my Jurassic Park line, "Shoot her!" Because like 30 cops again appear in that room, and I'm like,
no one takes a shot.
I feel like we should still try and shoot him, even though he has Justin Long. He is a giant creature. And then he isn't afraid, and then they shoot at him after he flies away with Justin Long.
Again, not able to hit him because he's gone, but let's shoot now.
Yeah, they decide to shoot then, in very Stormtrooper-like fashion.
Champions of delayed reactions.
Yeah. And then we get to figure out that Trish survives the movie, and Justin Long, we get a death scene of Justin Long that I just didn't buy.
That doesn't sound like him screaming.
I said that sounds like they were like, okay, Justin, they're ripping out your lungs. Scream. And then he tries to scream, but you just don't buy it. I'm like, okay, you failed miserably at this job, Justin. Stop trying. And then that is the end of Jeepers Creepers, which I'll be honest. When this movie came, I didn't watch a lot of horror movies in the early 2000s because I didn't like a lot of them. No, I didn't like them. I was generally the idea of horror movies did not make me interested in them, and they kind of freaked me out a little bit. So,
Oh, there he goes, jeeping and creeping away.
Creeping away. This was one of those films that I tried to stay away from because the idea of it scared me. Because I lived in a small rural town, and I didn't know what the creeper was. I thought it was just a generic guy, not really a monster, that was eating and that was just killing people. So it freaked me out kind of because I remember the imagery of the scarecrow from the TV spots, and I was like, oh man, I see a lot of scarecrows on my way home.
I don't really like the horror things. I'm a jumpy person, so I don't do the horror films role because a lot of them, like especially nowadays, is 90% jump scares.
Oh yeah,
and
movies nowadays are all that's all it is.
And
if you know when they're coming, if you know when they're coming, then they're just bad.
Well, that's the worst part is I know they're coming and I still jump every time.
I am the jumpiest human being in the world, so I also don't like scary movies.
But what I detest more than scary movies is really bad, slow moving, poorly acted, poorly written movies.
Yes. This movie deserved a Riff Tracks treatment, in my opinion. Because I watched this movie and I was like, I have no idea what I was afraid of from this movie.
And then what gave me some hope, because my dad usually has a good taste in movies. I told him we were watching Jeepers Creepers. He's like, that's a good one. And after 10 minutes of being in this movie, I was like, Father, you've disappointed me. You've given me hope where there was none.
It wasn't scary. It just didn't do it. I just don't know what. I legitimately don't know what I was afraid of. I was like, oh my god, what was I afraid of? Like I watched this movie and then when we finished, I literally felt a little bit ashamed of myself that I hadn't watched this movie because I was like, man, this movie's probably really scary because people tell me it's really scary. Even though I've seen the second one. But it's bizarre. So, Tyler, do you want to robot punch this with me? And then we'll get Lewis's then when he comes back.
Yeah, insert Lewis here, go!
All right,
so yeah, I'm gonna give this a 1. I was in physical pain the whole time watching this movie.
He's back.
Wow, you were in physical pain? This movie caused you physical discomfort.
I got a headache.
Hey,
Okay.
I'm back.
I literally got a headache because of how.
We missed you.
Oof, another movie that I... Did I do myself this time, Tyler? Did I make the movie worse than the one you've seen before?
Yeah, because this is the first movie you've recommended that caused me physical pain. I actually had to come home and take medicine because I had a headache from watching this terrible, steaming pile
no, just another
of
bad
dog
movie
shit.
that I picked. Oh, God, that sucks.
Tyler has, I think, a bigger track record than you. So...
Oh, I got one for Christmas that Elijah's gonna love, so that's great.
Christmas Chronicles 2?
Nope.
Dead Dad's Return?
God, that's the only way to make that good. Zombie Dad!
Zombie Dad.
It's a Christmas miracle! Anyways, so yeah, one robot punch.
Fat kid from Deadpool. The fat kid from Deadpool 2's in the sequel.
Who's wrapping Lewis up?
Other people.
I'm eating gummies.
Of course. Lewis is making noise. Why does it surprise you?
Why does that shock you?
I don't know.
So you give it a 1, Tyler?
Yeah, one robot punch.
I also have to give it a 1 because it just dragged. Like if I could, I think if there were two better people in this movie, I think I would have liked the story more. But I just felt that Justin Long and I can't even say her name, Gina Phillips, just didn't do it for me.
I got you.
They just didn't sell it, and the sheer fact that this movie could have been solved in like 2 minutes by just not driving back there, and even still, the creeper could have got them somewhere along the road.
That's what I'm saying.
Gotten to the exact same place. Like we could have gotten there a different way to just still keep it as a horror movie. We could have gotten there differently. It just seems stupid just to be like, let's go back and investigate. I'm like, no way in holy hell would you two be stupid enough to do that. And then they do it, and then it just lost me from there. So a 1. Lewis?
What did Ken give it? Did he give it a 1?
Watch it.
Oh. Okay. I gave this movie a 4 out of 5.
That is shocking.
Jeepers Creepers!
Dude, it's such a funny movie. Like I just remember seeing this movie when I was younger and like being completely terrified and you know, I was 11 years old when this movie came out. And I got to see it in theaters. And that was like one of the first scary movies I was like, "Oh, I'm watching this." And it was intense. And then as I got older, I realized how funny it was. And then now as an adult, it brought us some good nostalgic moments, and it made me a little scared. And then other times I just kept laughing a lot. I'm also a big fan of Justin Long, so.
All right, Ken, from our synopsis, will you be watching? From our discussion, will you be watching Jeepers Creepers?
Heck no. I mean, I wasn't super interested in it before, but to know that it fails at even doing what it tries to do, I'm not, you know, the fact that 2 out of 3 of you didn't like it is bad sign.
See, if it's a bad movie and me and Elijah can make jokes out of it and have a good time watching it, I feel a lot better. But like, there wasn't enough, like, I couldn't even like formulate jokes for half of the movie because there was nothing. They gave me nothing.
I mean, it's still a pretty high-grossing movie, though. So it was still scary at the time.
I am intrigued to finish out the series and see what happened to the first person.
The second one, I think, is the best one.
I remember not liking the second one.
I don't think the second one did. I don't think the second one did very well because that's why they didn't do the third one. But I saw.
No, Ken was saying it like did better than the first one, money-wise.
The second one made more money than the first one. Yeah.
Oh, that's
But
crazy.
was the budget higher?
There is a third one, Lewis. It came out 2 years
I know.
ago?
But they just went straight to DVD and it was garbage.
Oh, it is.
That one, I hate that one. I'd rather just leave Jeepers Creepers as a mystery because I really hate the third one.
Well, that was the only thing that this movie did was intrigue me to watch the third one. But now, I guess I'm not because I wanted to know what happened to Gina Phillips' character.
If you guys felt the same way about this one, you're definitely not gonna like number 3. You might like number 2. Number 2, you can make fun of it a little more because you find out Jeepers Creepers is racist.
Yeah, number two is more takes the story and tries to humor it up because it's a bunch of teenagers on a bus.
Mm-hmm.
But
and who's going after the homecoming king and queen, like the first one, or like the story of the first one, essentially.
So our first art video's out.
Yep, a lot of fun.
We working on getting some other camera angles situated and figured out, so that
AKA, I need to figure out how to record.
Yeah, I got a solution for you. So we got me, Elijah, and Dylan are doing some ARC stuff. The first episode's up on YouTube. It's not bad. Definitely, we want to do some improvement on it, but I think getting us figured out recording wise will be fine. And it's good.
That's pretty awesome.
It's a lot of fun. You should at least watch the part where Dylan falls off the boat.
Hey Ken, how was your wedding?
Oh, yeah, Ken got married.
I did.
How was that and your little honeymoon?
Well, the wedding was great. We had a pretty small, pretty quick ceremony. We were supposed to. The original plan before the year 2020 went to hell was we were gonna go on a Disney cruise. So we were just gonna have a super small legal ceremony here in Pennsylvania, and because the boat, the ceremony that happens on the boat is not legally binding. There's no legality to it. So
well, you are considered married then out at sea, which then you can't marry a mermaid or anything like that legally.
Maritime law.
But so what we had to do, or I should say, so what happened was in July when Disney canceled the cruise, I shouldn't say, no, it was before July, because it was later than July when the cruise officially got canceled, but whatever. Whenever all this happened, we had, I shouldn't say Lauren did most of the work, but what we did was we turned our little private, or our really small legal ceremony into a slightly less really small ceremony with like decorations that we didn't really plan to have, and we increased the guest list a little bit so that some people who weren't going to be included could be included, and we had dinner afterwards, which was nice, and yeah, and then we all went from not we all, but me and Lauren and her family all went pretty much from dinner to Baltimore, and then we stayed the night in Baltimore, and then hopped on plane in the morning. We stayed in different places. Lauren and I stayed in a different hotel from her family, but we all did ride on the same plane to Florida, where we then spent the week in Disney. There again, also Lauren and I had our own room where Lauren's family stayed together, because how the shining, or not the shining virtue, but the nice thing about, or how this all transpired is Lauren's parents are Disney Vacation Club members, so they had points, and because they were gonna, there was also they were gonna go in April, and that trip got canceled because Disney wasn't open in April, so they ended up with extra time, so they were actually able to, and this all got put in place before the cruise was officially canceled, but it was in case things go bad, we have a place. So they were able to make arrangements for us to have a place to stay.
Nice.
In Disney on property, which was nice.
So how? All right. Was it the perfect time to go? Where was it pretty empty? Or was it jam packed?
It wasn't. It wasn't jam packed. It wasn't. It was very similar to It was probably a little bit less busy, but not quite. It was
like
very
Six Flags?
similar. It was very similar to no. It was more full than Six Flags. It was very similar to how I remember it being when my family would go in May, and May is like the worst. Not the worst, but May is one of the slowest times at Disney. It's one of the best times to go if you don't want to deal with crowds.
Oh, off season.
Yeah, well, and that's the interesting thing. At least the running theory is that it's on season. Like like you have to pay like it's on season, but schools are still in, so you can't go like it's off season. So it sort of disincentivizes people going unless you're my mom and you do the research and you say May is the time to go because that's when the crowds are lowest. So that's when we're gonna go.
Now you just give
Yeah.
everybody your secret.
Yeah, now everybody knows.
To Disney.
I mean, yeah. I absolutely recommend going to Disney in May. It's the lines are usually pretty manageable.
It's amazing.
But the biggest problem with Disney right now was that they were running. Well, there are two things. One is the bigger problem is they're running abbreviated hours. So instead of being open from 7 or 8 in the morning until 7 or 8 or 9 at night, they're opening at 8 or 9 or 10 in the morning and closing at 6 or 7 or 8 at night. So you lose a couple hours on each end. Which when your lines are an hour or two each, you're losing a ride or two at least, and that's if you show up. That's if you open and close the parks.
Yeah.
Which we actually Lauren and I did a few times. But yeah, so and the other issue, which is a bigger issue when there's more hours, but because there's less hours, it's not as big of a deal. But you can't park hop, like they don't, like park hopper passes are not a thing.
Not right now or not anymore.
Not right now. They should come back eventually.
Yeah, they're trying to keep the numbers.
But yeah, that's all about population control. It's all about knowing how many people are in the park on that day. So
gotcha.
You have to pick a park and go to that park for the day. We were able to switch our days. We actually, while we were down there, I was able to get an appointment, or I was able to get a spot on Thursday to make my own lightsaber, which was something that I was not anticipating being able to do, because for a while, for the longest time, they weren't doing it. It was just, no, this is not. It's done in a small room. It was hard to do.
Was it freaking expensive?
Not freaking expensive. Expensive, yes, but not freaking expensive.
Purchase.
It's $200. It's $199.99 plus tax.
Oh, we're getting some lightsabers. That's happening.
I absolutely recommend it. I said next time we go, we're making one for Lauren. It's a neat experience. I will. The next time we are together, guys, if you remind me, I'll bring it along and I can show it to you.
Is that where the Hogwarts world is as well?
No, there is Universal Orlando, yes. But it's not in. But Universal Orlando is not Disney.
Are they like competitors?
Yes, sort of.
Oh.
I mean, yes, insofar as they are both in Orlando, they are both theme parks, and they both want people to come to them. So yes, they are competitors.
Lewis, you and I could go to Universal one day while they go to Disney. We'll go, and you could do Harry Potter World while I do Springfield.
I have one question.
I would come to Universal with you guys.
I want to do Springfield.
And Lauren likes Harry Potter, so we totally do.
Liz
we
loves
totally
Harry
do.
Potter. That's the only reason I would want to go out there. And
I'll go. Hang out at Springfield.
And if we use our promo code No Juan Juan on Disney, we might get 20 to 25% off. You know what I mean? We just need people to start putting those codes in.
Yep.
Because that's how promotional codes work.
I have one question.
You already asked it.
I kind of no, I didn't.
Well, you said you have one question.
That's a statement.
That's a declaration. That's not a question. Tyler, what's your question? Ask it already.
I want to go back to the wedding thing real quick. We all know that when you get hungry, you become very hangry. I heard there were provisions made to counteract this.
What do you mean provisions made?
He's talking about I brought granola bars.
I heard there was snacks.
And how we went and got and how we went and got lunch so that you wouldn't get hangry.
So that helped?
Yeah, well, your wife Elijah's wife gave very sage advice. She said, "Don't be hangry on your wedding day." And that seemed like a really good idea. So, yes, we did go for lunch. It was a good choice. I'm happy we did it. It's all Thea's fault.
Yep.
It's not really all Thea's fault.
So really, Thea saved the day.
But Thea contributed in a very real and positive way to our wedding day. I think I probably would have, as soon as I saw Lauren, I wouldn't have cared.
He would have been fine. It just would have been. I
was grinning like an idiot as soon as she showed up until we were done with everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I don't really think it would have mattered, but
it's better to be safe than sorry.
It's nice, but like I said, I'm absolutely thankful to Thea and Elijah for, facilitating lunch on my wedding day.
Nice.
So with that,
did you guys say your own vows?
Even though he bought it.
I did. That's true. I did buy lunch. What about vows, Lewis?
Did you guys say your own vows?
We said the vows. Yes, we did not write our own vows. If that's what you're asking.
Yes. Yeah.
We used traditional vows, but rather than do the rather than having him ask questions and then we say I do after all of them, we did the repeat after me thing. So, and that was something that Lauren and I agreed on most of the wedding planning stuff. So
nice.
As far as and there again, we were super simple, super basic, super quick.
Nice.
We didn't add anything to the service itself really. We added decorations, we added music that we wouldn't have had otherwise, and we added the dinner afterwards.
I got you.
But
I don't mean to interrupt, Ken.
That's fine.
I gotta go. My phone's at 1%, and I'm gonna cut out within
we're
seconds.
Going now,
so I'll see you guys later. All right.
Okay. Bye, Lewis.
But it's that time of night anyway.
Okay, it's that
time of night. It's a time of night.
Oh my God, Tyler!
Time of night.
Visit our website at www.postermanpodcast.com.
We are out of time.
Send us emails.
Me and Ken are out of time. Me and Ken are out of time.
Find us on Twitter at The Posterman Pod. Find us on Instagram at The Posterman Podcast. Check us out on Facebook at The Posterman Podcast. And find us on Letterboxd at The Posterman Pod. And we are also on YouTube also. Just look us up.
The Posterman.
We apparently have a video that has 400 views.
Yeah, Quigley Down Under is got some serious attention. It's kind of cool. But it's going to run out of time before it actually gets monetized. And I think it has copyright infringement on it, so it wasn't going to get monetized anyways.
What copyright infringement is on it?
I learned a thing. with the trailers. It is okay for me to use 30 seconds of the trailer with no sound of it. So basically, I would put 30 seconds of the trailer with you doing the IMDb stuff. But
Okay.
when I put 30 seconds of the trailer with the movie stuff actually in it still, sometimes it'll flag it. So, YouTube algorithms. I did some
Yeah, I was about to say
better
30
research.
seconds of a trailer.
I did some better research and found out things. So I was like, okay, understood. Now I know better of what to do and what not to do. Should have did this in the first place, but you know that's not me. I learned from mistakes.
That was past Tyler's problem.
That was past Tyler's problem. What an idiot! Big dummy. Jeepers creepers.
Big dumbass. And we're gonna try an experiment next week, so it'll probably be a disaster.
Oh,
But
so
hell,
we're going forward with that plan. Okay, I'm on
Yep.
board.
we're doing that plan.
Okay, cool.
We're doing it. It's gonna happen. It's going forward. It's what's next. So we're gonna do that one.
Cool. I like it.
So everyone be prepared. It might be an unmitigated disaster, but what the hell? That wouldn't be us if it wasn't.
It's not gonna be. Oh, dang it! See, never mind. We can discuss after we stop recording.
Yeah. All right. See y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.